you doing?
Moody, what's up?
Good. Can you hear me okay? I'm in my car, so I just
Y-
want to check the noise levels are okay.
Noise levels are fine. I can tell that you're in your car, but I can hear you loud and clear.
That's splendid. Ah dear.
Perfect.
So you've invited me to co-host. I'm not going to do much co-hosting because I'm driving very slowly, and I don't want to be concentrating on my phone. So I'll just partake in a co-host non-active way.
Understood. Yeah, no, I half expected you not be able to make it anyways, so we're just glad to have you on.
No, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
And we got our guest Seven on the mic as well. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, people? Good to be here. Good to be on a night's space. I've never been on it before, obviously, but it's yeah, it's good to be here, man. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you. We've had we've had a few gamers on as guests. We've had some tech people on, lots of the Night Skilled leaders, but we have yet to have somebody from the Corn Mafia one as a guest. But what I'm most excited about, you would probably be the first, at least dedicated, known artist in the community that we have had on the space. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know so much. I don't know much about dedicated artists. I guess I'm just kind of having fun with doing some corn music, and yeah, no, definitely glad to be here. I appreciate the offer, guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, the way I see it, that's what art is. It's just expression of self, and whatever you enjoy, whatever you're connected with, and you've done a lot for the Cornucopias community in that area. So we appreciate that, and we're looking forward to the discussion we're gonna have today. We'll give it a few more seconds before we really get down to it.
Absolutely good stuff, man. Yeah, no worries, no rush.
How was Fall Guys last night, Seven?
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't there for Scruffy's setup, but we had a little Fall Guy action a few hours prior to that, and it was fun. It was fun. I realized I could play on my Switch, so I have a Switch. So that's how I'm gonna do it from now on, unless of course I'm streaming. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
You be safe out there when you're driving around, brother. You be safe. That's the main thing you worry about today.
Thank you very much. I'm driving very slowly on a very simple road. So, and if I do feel any danger, I will hang up straight away. But it's no different to singing along to Meatloaf from my Spotify, really. And because we've got an artist like yourself on, it feels a bit like I am listening to Meatloaf. So, different genres, of course.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with a bit of meatloaf for sure.
I went to see Meatloaf at the O2. So where I live in London is pretty close to the O2 Arena. Is it an arena? And I took my girlfriend, well, my ex, and we went to see Meatloaf. And I was shocked how little power he had in his voice. I mean, he's all his career he was so powerful, and I think I seen him right at the end of his singing career, and his voice just had no power, and it's heartbreaking really for someone like that to lose such a talent and such a physical dependent talent, you know.
Yeah, he's done so much for music though. So he's most certainly contributed towards music as a whole, and because he's unfortunately passed away, didn't he? Did he pass away
I
recently?
did he did I can't remember, to be honest. I think there's been,
I think he may have.
but no.
But yeah, yeah, I hear you. That must have been an experience. Obviously, it wasn't the same because he wasn't as young and as in his prime, I guess. But still must have been a great experience, man.
Yeah, it was a great experience for her, but someone who grew up with Meatloaf, it was a little bit of, you kind of felt sorry for him in a way, you know.
Yeah,
But I guess you get that in all kind of walks of life, like in sport, in entertainment. when someone reaches the end of their career, you kind of like, oh, just someone who was so good. Just it's a shame, but no, it was a great experience, even still.
Age is coming for us all, man. Age is coming for us all.
Absolutely.
We cannot escape it. However, I do believe that sometime in the future we will be able to download our consciousness onto a computer and we'll live forever. But who knows when that is going to be? With Elon Musk at the helm, I think it might be sooner than later.
I wonder if that'd be on.
Who
I
knows?
wonder if that'd be on an NFT. That'd be a big boost for the crypto market, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely feel more secure if that were the case. All right. Well, we'll let people go ahead and start to roll in on their own here. I'll go ahead and get us started. Thank you, everybody, for showing up to this episode of the Knights Tavern, whether you're listening on YouTube or the recording here on Twitter. I am Josh. Some of you might know me from my YouTube channel over at Late Game Crypto. I'm on the official Twitter account this time, and I'm joined by Moody, our co-host, who is driving and stands safe. Rest assured. Moody, what's up?
Hey, good evening, everyone, and thanks for logging in today. And it's going to be an interesting episode today because I'm in my car. So yeah, hello everyone.
Definitely an interesting space, not just because of that, but also because we are joined by somebody who is incredibly active in the Cornucopias community in a variety of different facets. Somebody who is regularly hosting events, playing games with the community, who is a Cornucopias mod, but also a content creator, both in the area of video games as well as in the area of music. Seven, how you doing?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I'm good, thank you, brother. How are you guys today?
I'm doing great. It has been a busy week for me personally, but I'm so stoked that it's the weekend and just to chill back and have conversations like this.
And it is officially the year of the corn.
It is.
So
It is.
it's probably the best year we're gonna have for a long time. So I'm glad I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you guys bringing me on for sure.
Yeah. So we like to kick off every night's tavern Twitter space with a segment that we call Behind the Knight's Armor, where people can get to know people that are on the show, me, Moody, as well as our guest, get to know things about them that the public might not know. And I always kick us off. I'll start us off here. So the fun fact that I'll share about myself isn't quite, I think, as surprising as some people here might not expect for the people that know who I am, but other people that know me in real life are usually a little bit more surprised by this fact. So I'll give some backstory. A lot of people perceive me individually as kind of like a straight edge dude. I like to discuss ethics and philosophy. And in college, I got my bachelor's degree in Bible and theology. So I think people kind of perceive me as sort of an innocent individual that is only interested in clean, family-friendly type of stuff. And I get that. Like that's I think an element of who I am as a person, generally speaking, too. But I have a deep appreciation for art, especially a lot of stuff that's rooted in pain and the depth of the human experience. So very early on in my childhood, uh, I was influenced very much by Eminem. A lot of people are, and Seven, I think I can hear this in your music. I can hear hints of that influence, and we'll get into that too about where your music come from and who your idols are in that area. But yeah, that's me. I have a deep love for Eminem's music. I know a ton about his history and his come up. I probably got into him a good ways around the it wasn't Curtain Call. It was the Eminem Show when that album dropped. That's probably, if you're familiar with Eminem's music, that's right around where I got into him, and I appreciate his music still a ton, and to this day, there's probably not another artist or group that I know more about. So yeah, that's my fun fact. I love Eminem, especially the stuff that he came out with in like the 90s to early 2000s. Moody, why don't you hit us up with a fun fact about yourself?
Well, I love Eminem too. I think he did amazing things for a lot of people and for the industry. But my fun fact is not a so fun fact today. So my parents are in their mid to late 80s, and before Christmas, I drove down to Devon from London to pick them up, spent a week with them in Devon, then I drove them to my sister's in Coventry, dropped them off in Coventry for New Year, and I came back to London to settle back into my very peaceful life. And I got a phone call from my mum 2 days ago saying that both my mum and dad were very ill, both with quite bad chest infections. And anyone who's got elderly parents or grandparents, chest infections can be very, very challenging for elderly people. So, yes, of course, like a good son, I provided a taxi service. So I left my house at 9 o'clock this morning to do pretty much drive from London up to the Midlands, down to Devon, and I'm now driving back from Devon to London. I've been in the car. I've had breaks. Don't worry, I'm a health and safety avid follower. But yeah, my fun fact of the day is I've been sat in my car for about 12 hours, and yeah, so that's me today.
Awesome. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about it this morning, and this feels like a good opportunity to shout you out. Um, I didn't when I joined the Knights Guild, I didn't really get a chance to meet you, and I don't know how you were at all before your hiatus from being active within the Knights Guild. And I don't at all want to air out your dirty laundry or anything, but I know that you went through a lot of stuff, and watching you do what you do in the Knights Guild and for the Cornucopias community, despite the incredibly difficult year that you had last year. Like, I have huge admiration for your dedication, for the amount of work that you put into everything that's being done in the background, and just your passion and spirit behind all of the things that you do. So I'd like to shout that out. Moody, you are doing an amazing job, and I have huge admiration for you.
Thank you so much, Josh. And actually, I'm going to take the opportunity to respond to that, if you don't mind. So, look, we're all children. Well, we're all children, and most of us are fortunate to have our parents still around. My dad is got quite bad Alzheimer's, and he's not, physically he's fine, but obviously Alzheimer's is a terrible disease, and it steals the mind of so many people. And what I learned in the last year is, as a child or a grandchild or a nephew or a niece or even a partner, you know, dealing with a loved one who has been the hero or your lover or your parent all your life, dealing with them losing their mind carries so much weight on you as an individual's shoulders, and I don't think people realise to the extent. I didn't particularly deal with it very well. I'm still not dealing with it very well. I'm used to control in every situation I'm in, but when my dad is my hero is poorly, I don't deal with that well. So I do want to take this opportunity because I think as generations live longer, um, a lot of the people in the world will have to deal with the unfortunate situation of Alzheimer's or dementia. And I beg you all, find help. There's help out there for you as an individual, and reach out to these people because no one should have to go through this alone. And if you're not helping yourself, you can't help and support your loved ones. So I do want to share that with everyone, and I hope people just take from someone who's had a really hard year and reach out for help because there is help out there. Thank you, Josh.
All right. That this space is kicking off real deep which is nice because I think it fits the theme of the conversation, and what the human experience is going to look like in the future of the metaverse, and what this whole Web3 tech world looks like, and how that is it's changing the world. So great start. Let's go ahead and continue with our segment here behind the knight's armor. Seven, why don't you share something about yourself that people might not know publicly?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, first of all, Moody, I feel you, man. And as I've always said, I'm an ear if you ever need anybody to talk to. You have the whole core mafia, the whole core mafia, the Knights, the Cornucopias, every single guild. I know everyone sticks together because we're a big old family. So you always got people to talk to if you ever need anything, brother. 100%. And yeah, I hear you with the Eminem thing. I was exactly the same growing up. I listen to a lot. I know we'll get into that, into the influences and stuff like that. But I guess the one thing about me that is kind of known, but also kind of isn't known. And I'm trying to think of something that's interesting. There's not much interesting about me. The only thing that stands out for me is my food choice. I've been about 8 or 9 months now. I've been a plant based eater, so I'm a vegan. And so I've been there for about 8 or 9 months now. The wife and I got onto that together. And yeah, I've just it was tough in the beginning, I guess, and it's definitely got easier. But yeah, that's it's not. I'm not really a very interesting individual, apart from the fact that I make music that some people enjoy. Uh, I- yeah, so well to the Eminem thing, yeah, I'm with you 100%. I grew up listening to Eminem a whole bunch. Some of his first few albums were the first 2 or 3 albums were the big ones. That was back when he was Slim Shady, when he was um, he was on a different level with things. But yeah, I mean, he's the best. There's a whole list of artists that I've listened to over the years that definitely have an influence. And it's interesting you say, uh, Josh, that you can hear some of his music in mine, because I've had some people say that to me before, and I can also hear it sometimes. I think there's a little bit of that element of I don't know, we kind of sound the same because we're both kind of nasally. You know what I mean? I'm kind of nasally with my rap sometimes. But I've actually been it's interesting because I've created an album and I love it. I think it's super dope. I've created an album and I'm really, really excited to get that out there. Uh, but ever since the album, I have noticed myself getting better and better with my music. I'm actually about to release a track. I'm going to release a music video with a track, of course, a new track has that is about. I don't even know if I should go into what it's about, but it's a touchy subject because based on what you said, Josh, was you like music that touches people in a deep way, and this is exactly the way I look at it. For me, I need to make music that people will feel. I don't want them to just like it. Like, yes, it's great to like the music, but I want them to feel it. It's when it comes to any kind of creative outlet like movies or TV series or music or whatever, it's the emotional stuff that captures you and leaves you thinking, oh goodness, like that really hit me. You leave the movie theater and you're like, you feeling pumped up or you're feeling sad, or so for me it is quite literally all about that emotion, you know what I'm saying? And kind of, what was I saying the other day? I actually get this. I was saying to a friend of mine. I am actually doing a collaboration with another artist in the Cornucopias server very soon. And I was saying to him that I actually have it kind of irritates me a little bit, but I have this consistent isn't the right word, but I have this urge on a daily basis to wake up and be creative. It actually annoys me. I don't want to feel like that. I kind of want to feel like I want to wake up in the morning and go, you know, I have life around me. Like, let me appreciate the life around me. Let me appreciate time with my wife and with my cats and going out for a walk and all these different things. But I have this need, this urge to always to have to be creative. Otherwise, I'm just not happy. Which is not a good thing. You know, you need to be happy with just nothing. And if we were all in a perfect world, and we just happy being, but yeah, I have this urge to be creative 24/7, and this is why I'm always putting stuff out. I mean, at one point, I even tried making a little short film. I had to stop halfway because I realized I did not have the equipment that I required to make it, and I went through like a week of being upset because I was like, I really wanted to do this. I want to be creative with this, and now I can't. So I'm quite I'm really into kind of helping. I want to help people that are going through stuff, and and hype people up. I love being. I know it sounds messed up, but like not manipulate, but provide emotion. You know what I mean? Provide emotion to people, and I guess that's the best way I can describe it, really. But yeah, the most interesting fact about me is I think I'm vegan. So that's it, really.
It's so funny to me how, at least in my experience, it feels like some of the most interesting people are the ones that have that perspective about themselves. That like, I'm just a normal guy. It's cool. But no, like in reality, I find you to be such an interesting person, and I think that the vegan thing is plenty interesting. I think that it can say a lot about somebody's perspective of how they're approaching health and like how they feel generally, just physically speaking, and how they act and want to respect their own bodies. I think there's a lot there that I think is really interesting. But the music stuff is something that I've always been fascinated about with you. And as you were talking, like I feel like, are you familiar with NF at all? Because I feel like what you were talking about is like something that I would have thought was him talking right there. Even the tone of your voice and the depth of like how he
Yeah,
talks in his music, and he
yeah,
also
yeah,
very
yeah.
influenced by
No,
Eminem. Yeah.
you are so right. And actually, I won't even lie to you. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know NF existed until maybe a couple months ago. I didn't even know about him until I was scrolling through social media, and one of his videos came up. And I was listening. I was like, "Damn, this is fire." He's doing exactly what you were talking about. He was telling a story, but he was talking it right, and he was speaking the story. And I realized a lot of my music is quite it's different. It's not talking. And so I thought to myself, I'm not gonna because I don't actually like listening to too much hip hop because if I do, then I'm very influenced. I'm a easily influenceable if that's the right way of saying it, person, right? So if I'm listening to a lot of rap music, I will start picking up on um, like flows and deliveries and ways of saying things. And I don't necessarily want to grab or be influenced by anybody else's stuff. I kind of want to be as original as I can be. But I was in the gym pumping weights and I was thinking and I was listening to NF a whole bunch and I was like, damn, this is some of the hardest, like just the way he's telling a story and it's beautiful and a lot of it is quite emotional stuff. But yeah, no, I've actually never listened to him in an interview, or I've only ever heard his music, so I have no idea what he talks, what he speaks like. But yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, if my goal now is I want to start making more storytelling music. Like when I started, and Cornucopias was very, I made my first track for Cornucopias, and it got some traction, and people were excited about it. And then I started thinking to myself, let me I'll tell you actually the whole I'm a very business orientated person. I really want to make the money as we all do, and I was thinking to myself, how can I get myself out there and start making money from like music and stuff. So I even set up a whole thing of uh you know I will start making songs or projects, different kind of projects. So my originally my music was very much hype music, very much get people, hype, 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 that kind of thing. And it's fun, and it's like a lot of my album is very hypey as well, and I love it. I think it's great. I'm also, I guess I'm kind of just growing in my music. I'm grown as an artist, and I'm starting to, since I listen to people like NF, and another one is Hobson. I don't know if you know Hobson. I absolutely love that guy. I think he's incredible. He's also very influenced by Eminem, and he also does very, very like talking. And for me, I know it's not like I'm copying them. I'm not mimicking them. I'm just seeing their style, and I like it. I like their style, right? I like the way that they rap, and I think I'm not gonna make music that I don't like. I'm not gonna make music that I wouldn't like to listen to myself. So I want to start making music, adding in a little bit more of those that kind of talking, that kind of speaking your way through it. And so the track I've just done has a little bit of that, but you have to be able to have that range, right? So you have to be able to, I think, as an artist, you have to be able to everything from speak all the way, like from anything from funny, depressing, whatever, all the way up to complete hype. So you have to have that range, and that's something I really love about my music. Is, I mean, heck, I've made a song using a backing track that had a ukulele in it. You know what I'm saying? I want to try different things. I don't want to just make the same, like a lot of artists out there, a lot of rap artists. And I'm not trying to boost myself up or nothing, but a lot of guys sound the same. A lot of people sound exactly the same. And it's that same monotone of and you kind of think to yourself, I'm getting a bit bored here. There's no excitement. It's and a lot of rappers ride off the back of the beat. The beat is kind of what helps them out there, right? They just say a little bit of stuff and on the beat, and it pops off. But it's very, I like telling a story. I want to be able to go from the low range all the way up to the up range. Like, I guess if you were a child and you had somebody reading you a bedtime story, kind of that kind of, you know what I mean, Josh, when I say that, because I think you get it with the when you were saying about NF and the way he talks in his raps.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Everything that you are saying, I'm resonating very strongly with everything that you say. And yeah, I didn't really talk a whole lot about how a lot of modern rap and hip hop music I have deviated away from. It's
Mhm.
like a lot of that older stuff that I fell in love with. And people that are original, like NF, who's doing something very raw and like talking about his experience and emotional history and everything. Um, I'm connecting with so much of what you're saying, even the entrepreneurial stuff, looking at things as a business, how you can monetize your music, and like with your value for the concept of originality and providing something different to the market, like that. I respect all of that perspective so much. And I think that it's a perfect segue into some of the things that I want to start us talking about. It's great. I think that we got a lot of that hype, the emotion behind the passion for music. I feel like that really came out there in what you were talking about. But I want to go back to your origins. Your kickoff, at least as far as we know you. The very first video that you published on YouTube, it was about Cornucopias, and it seems like you were a fan. There was some intention with engaging with the community in Cornucopias, and I'm curious about the prime intentions behind all that. Did you intend to get into it and start organizing, one of the major guilds in the community? Tell me how all that went down. What was the intention with your YouTube channel? How did the Corn Mafia come into that? And just like tell me about your starts in this past
Okay.
couple of years here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, actually, I used to make music many, many years ago, still under the name Seven. And I was actually flown out to Portugal, and I made a music video out there as well. I've also done this is a very interesting fact. Oh my goodness, I've completely forgot about this, but you know how it is with time and age. um, I actually did a song with one of the Pussycat Dolls. Many years ago, and there's a video on YouTube. I'll have to share it with people. I completely forgot I even did that, but yeah, I did a music a song with one of the Pussycat Dolls many years ago. And then what happened was I was with this girl at the time, and it was very stressful, the situation, the relationship, and I kind of just put the music to the side because I was like, oh, I'm never gonna make it. Even though I was getting a bit of a following, I had some celebrities tweeting and all that kind of stuff, but I just kind of put it to bed. And then And then yeah, then when I came back to it, it was all because of Cornucopias. But my intention behind it, I didn't actually have an intention behind it. I originally, and I mentioned this on the Kopi Cafe episode that they was kind enough to have me on. I said that you know I just I wanted to make videos in crypto. I love being in front of the camera. It's like it's a natural place for me. I love being on the camera. It's great fun. So I was like, let me start making some videos uh like talking about crypto projects, right? Because this was yeah, a couple years back, and it's like, oh, maybe I can build up a community and talk about crypto and it'll be fun. And then I realized like every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every auntie and Susan and Jack is doing it nowadays, and it's difficult to stand out like people like yourself and people like Scruffy, and it's difficult to stand out in these things. I didn't think I had what like you guys have for the YouTube, right, for the crypto stuff. So then I thought to myself, okay, what else can I offer? What can I do that's different, right? And and so I was speaking to a friend at the gym, and he was like, "Well, you like rap?" So I was like, "Yeah, I like rap." He's like, "Why don't you try rapping about the project or something?" I was like, "That's silly. Come on now." So I went and I was like, "Oh, let me give it a go." Made the first track, and what the intention after that track was, Cornucopias had shared it. They had shared my music on Twitter, right? I think in Discord too, that specific track, the first one. And for me, I was like, ooh, there's an audience here. The people enjoyed the track. They seem to have liked it. Uh, what if I made another? Maybe I can build up my Twitter. Maybe I can build up my YouTube or whatever with that. And so I made a second, and then I made a third, and I made a fourth. I think I've only done 4 tracks so far for Cornucopias, but yes, I didn't actually have any intention to gain anything from it. And I just kind of wanted to keep making music, and I had offers from other projects that they wanted me to come and make music for them, but I turned them down because they were competing like Metaverse projects. I won't say the name of them now, but and they were on Cardano as well, and so I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much diehard Cornucopias, right? So I want to stick with Cornucopias. So um, that was that, and then to get into the mafia. Uh, so essentially, what happened was, oh shoot, I can't remember when I actually joined the Cornucopia server. I mean, I saw a video on YouTube. I remember this clearly. I actually this was back when everything was in the middle of the bull market, and I was getting excited, or the end of the bull market, and I was like, I typed in. It's the best thing I ever did, really. But I typed in YouTube. I went to YouTube and I typed in next 100x project, right? Like I'm sure all of us have done at some point to see if there's anything that we can maybe look into. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was Cardano with Paul. He came up, even though his title wasn't that, but he came up. And they were talking about cornucopias, so I was like, "Oh, let me go check these guys out." So there's actually a video that the Corn team has, and I have, and I don't think it's out publicly, but and originally I did a crypto video. I did a little 1-minute piece talking about cornucopias and how great it was, and that's how they first got to know me. And then they knew, okay, that was Seven. I was lowercase Larry at the time. Some people know me know me as lowercase Larry. And then they had their first ever AMA, so I was like, ooh, I got to be there for that. And so they were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and I was getting so into it, and I was like, I need to be a part of this. And so on the AMA, on the VC, I said to him, I want to be your moderator. I need to be your moderator. So they said, yes, absolutely, come on board. I think I was quite lucky, to be honest with you, because now there's a lot. It's a process to become a moderator. You have to be in the community for quite a while. But I think that they saw my passion for the project from the get-go, and then obviously then I made the track, and so yeah, so I've been a mod with them ever since then. I think I crossed over a year. I think I've been moderating a year and 2 months now, and yeah, I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. I get to talk to all my friends every day on there, and everybody's so nice, and then I get to make music as well, which is great. So like I said, I've just finished an album. I'm looking forward to getting that out, but unfortunately I can't say too much about that. Only that yeah, there's an album coming out at some point. And yeah, I see Cornucopias is in the house themselves. What's up, Cornucopias? Oh, they've left again. they came and they left. But yeah, so yeah, man. And then the Corn Mafia. What happened with the Corn Mafia was, shoot, I was hanging out in the server and Pinball. Some of you might know Pinball, Ninja, aka Ninja. He was in there, and we started talking because it wasn't as active. The server was not as active as it is now. And so we were talking and stuff, and then we went off to the side, and we decided, hey, I didn't even know what a guild was before that. I didn't even know what a guild was. If I'm honest with you, I had never heard of a guild. I'm a Call of Duty, FIFA, and that kind of player. I've never been into strategy games or anything like that. Cornucopias will be the first time I'm into that kind of game. And because they've won me over with everything, the graphics, the gameplay, the team, the dev shorts, the everything. It's won me over. And then Pinball pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's actually a really good idea. Well, let's do this." And so we started off in line, which is a chat messenger thing, and we started off in line, and we were talking about forming the guild, and then we started bringing in some more members. And now we got the godparents, so we have a whole bunch of godparents. We have a thriving community in our server. Everybody's really excited about the game coming out and how we can all play together and build and earn and learn and all that magic together. And it helps people out if they don't want to play on their own, they can play with us. We can be family, we can be friends. That's what I look at the Cornucopians as. I see everyone as family, because I was thinking about this the other day, Josh. I speak to people in Discord more than I speak to my own family. You know what I mean? Like I speak to these guys and girls every single day. Like, and my family. Sometimes I go a whole week without messaging them or even seeing them. I'm having VCs and video calls with people here every day, and it's just I've been so grateful to be a part of the Cornucopias family, man, and the Corn Mafia and everything. Yeah, I just feel very grateful, very lucky, 100%.
Yeah, man, so much there. Like listening to you speak about your passion about Cornucopias and what that journey has looked like has me hyped up. And if I could use you as an example for a minute, because you're talking there as the up and comings of creating a YouTube channel and doing this kind of stuff and how that ended up playing out for you. And you pointed to me and thinking, oh, I don't have what that guy has to put together a YouTube channel and create crypto content. That's not at all how I see myself, and I resonate with your emotions of how you have perceived yourself too, and you don't see yourself that way. I'm very
Yeah,
passionate about encouraging people and yeah, the inspiration that you provide from doing what you do and just I'm passionate about crypto. I'm passionate about Cardano. I'm passionate about Cornucopias, and I want to instill that into people, and especially people that are out there creating content that are doing things and contributing to the community in a variety of different ways. And that passion comes out. Anybody listening live or anybody that's going to listen on the recording, hearing you speak about all that, that's the feelings that you're providing for people. That's the inspiration that you give to people, that come and consume your content, and hearing about your journey about it all, about how early on, you uh, took some shots and did some stuff just because why not? That's the nature, I think, of the creative mind. There's
yeah,
so much
yeah,
happening in the human brain, and when you act on that stuff, you never know where it could take you. For
yeah.
you, it's been becoming a huge part of the Cornucopias community, and I very much appreciate. Before I jump into a little bit, because I just a little curious question that I came up
Sure.
with, but I do want to talk a little bit about the fertile ground that Cornucopias has created in the community for creators and stuff like that to come up. But just a curious question, just a little side note. The name
Sure.
Seven, so you've used that before. Where does that come from?
Okay, so I wasn't expecting this question. That's a good one. But I'll tell you what, I unfortunately won't be able to tell you where it comes from. Uh, and yeah, I'm gonna be awkward as hell, and I'm gonna say the origin of Seven will more than likely come out in the future. Uh, but being in crypto, and has taught me one thing: try to stay as anonymous as humanly possible. So yes, that's all I can say, man. That's all I can say about that.
That's completely fair. I have huge
Sure.
respect for that, and I love it. I anticipate maybe one day learning about that. Yeah, for anybody listening, normally I will outline the questions and send them to the speakers. Yeah, I do that just out of respect so that
Nah, it's
people
no
know
worries,
what's
no
coming.
worries. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
alrighty.
for this particular one, I just want to note that, like, that question purely came out of the like excitement I was having about your story, how interesting I find you, and just like, how influential and the it's like, when you see somebody that's communicating passion, when you see somebody that's like, I care about this thing, I've got to be a part of this.
Yeah,
It gets you hyped up, it gets you interested in like, how do I get that, how do I experience what you're experiencing? And that's where that question was coming from. I'm just
it's all
interested.
good, man.
So
Nah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's gonna come out at some point. It'll most certainly come out at some point. I've had a few people ask me that question before, but yeah,
okay.
it'll be out there somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna be looking out for it. I'm looking forward to that. So let's go ahead and jump into a little bit about what I was talking about before. Cornucopias. You mentioned some of your experience about how they shared some of your content, and it spread throughout the community. The community received it well. This is also my experience as a creator that does some Cornucopias content on a pretty regular basis. Like
Yeah.
they Cornucopias, I think, uniquely communicates a value for their influencers and does not apply any bias or anything based on size or like success or reach or like the it's clear to me that they're not doing it because they're trying to get something out of it.
Mm,
It seems like everything that they do, it's all built on like trying to do something for influencers, like because that really contributes to a community. And I think Cornucopias is so good at doing that. They
mm,
share their influencers content and what they're building in the Cornucopias metaverse. Like they've got a lot of intentions for creators with a lot of the builds that they're building
mm.
up. They're building stages and stuff for live streamers and those kinds of people to interact within the metaverse, put their content out there in this world that they're
Yeah.
creating to just like provide fertile ground for creativity to grow. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And this is what every time I see a Kobe Cafe episode, Josh is always talking about how, he wants this to be a place where people can create. And that's one of the the base things about cornucopias is the whole build to earn. It's they're I have always felt every time I've spoken to them or, in whatever, I've always felt this one of their one of their goals is to help creators succeed and get their stuff out there. And this exactly what we said. This is what drew me in to begin with when I made that first song and they had posted it, and I thought, ooh, like this is quite unlike people don't usually do this. I mean, I made a few tracks for some other people. I made a track for, I don't know if you guys know Ran Newer. Ran Newer. What's the name of that show that he runs? Crypto Banter. That's the one. I made a track for him, and he did share. He did retweet it, but it's not really the same, I guess, as the effort or the amount that Cornucopias goes to. Yeah, they most certainly have creators at in their mind, and that's one of the things I love most about them is they're going to give us an opportunity to grow our, as you said, for us to be able to monetize our art. Right, the Cornucopias is essentially going to be able to give us an opportunity to monetize our music, our art, right? So whatever your art might be, if it's drawings, JPEGs, music, films, whatever, it's going to be it's so exciting. It's so exciting. I cannot wait to actually start, get my dome set up, and and have. I've had a few people even tell me that they want me to come and perform in their dome because they're thinking about setting up a concert venue, and so I am absolutely going to be doing that. I same as you and Moody and everyone else. I have so many ideas for cornucopias. Don't with the domes, and I was extremely fortunate to mint a few very rare NFTs with with both the dome and the theme zone land. So I have I'm definitely not going anywhere. I have a lot of plans for cornucopias and creating within that. So yeah, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think cornucopias has hit the nail on the head with helping creators out, and yeah, it's exciting to see where we're gonna go.
Love it. Moody, you got your hand up. Hit me up.
Yeah, I was just going to add on the level of effort that Cornucopias put on influencers, regardless of size. Now, I think the influencers involved need to take a level of credit from that because I've never seen such a low competition, internal influencer competition for content. We had a space the other week, Josh, where we had J Crypto, Dap Central, and yourself, and you know I think Cornucopias is actually very lucky with the people, and I include Seven in that, very lucky with the people who are actually stepping into the door they're opening, because it could have been a very different experience if there would have been a level of competition, a level of sniping. I've never seen such an aligned group of influencers behind one project. So
Mm, mm.
I think that's credit to the game, but also credit to you guys who are great influencers.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think, yeah, I think, yeah, everyone is behind the same project. Everyone is happy to do stuff about it, and I totally agree. And then you see Rob jumping on. He takes the time to. I mean, one time in particular, I thought to myself, let me start doing podcasts, right? So I was going to start doing podcasts, and that flopped because I was too busy doing everything else in life. But um, how it is, start something, and sometimes you don't get to finish them. But so started a podcast, and I was interviewing people from cornucopias, and people that have you know within the community, people who plan on doing whatever. And so Rob himself, he took the time to these were maybe about an hour long videos, podcast, right? And he would take the time to come and watch it, and he would actually comment in the comments, and he would respond to something that happened, three-quarters through the way of the video. And you think to yourself, this man is super busy doing everything he needs to do, and he still has time to listen to and watch, or not even just time, but the care to listen and watch the people that are boosting his project. That to me is somebody who cares deeply about their own project, right, and really wants it to succeed, and the creators in it, that he's willing to take that time and do that. That to me is huge. I mean, I've not seen that happen too often, with other projects, but
Definitely. No, they totally stick out in this area. And I think us as content creators, we do kind of get a little bit of that unique perspective from it of like how, because Rob does the same exact thing with my content.
yeah,
He
yeah,
comes and he comments on like, something that happened later on in my video, and like just these guys, they're running a like just at this point in the early stages of the project, it's a multi-million-dollar company.
yep,
They're out there, they're busy. From time to time, I go in and message Rob and Josh asking a question or seeing if I could get their input on something. And it takes them a while, as I expect. Like with every project leader that I talk to, it
mhm,
usually takes them a while to get to it. And I understand that because they're freaking busy. But
yep,
it's an honor to have that level of attention from these guys,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's one of the many ways that they stick out. I think that it's one of the big things that's really going to help them to come up above the competition, and just the uniqueness that they provide to the space, the way that they foster their community. It's incredible. It's awesome.
agreed. Absolutely, brother. Yep.
Okay, now let's kind of funnel this conversation a little bit into now. I don't want to stray away from like your inspirations, and that's something that I want to harness next. But after that, I'm going to talk about. Uh, I'd like to ask about like where you've come from, even if it's just a brief blurb about it, and where you hope to go after that. So I want to know. Uh, it feels like your brand very much right now is in the realm of rap and also video games, and I want to know which of those came first. Are you did you discover video games first, or have you just been in rap in a long time? What are some of your favorite games, and who are your some biggest inspirations in the rap game?
All right. Well, I'll go through them first. So, of course, Eminem, as we said, Hobson for sure. Now NF, Tech Nine, old school DMX. Well, old school, of course. Ludacris, Ti, all those guys. All the way back to the Beastie Boys, man. I love all kinds of hip hop. Although saying what going on what you said, the newer rap. Maybe it is, you know how it is when you get older. You're like, what are these young kids listening to nowadays? This is terrible stuff. But yeah, some of the new rap is it's not really my vibe. But yeah, those are my influences in terms of music. In terms of games, the games that I play, I'm quite boring, really. I play Call of Duty all the time. I'm now playing Fall Guys a whole bunch because the Cornucopias Discord, we're always having game nights in there, and we're playing Fall Guys a whole bunch, and that's so much fun. I really get into that. Other games, I love Overwatch. Overwatch is a great game, and so what kind of came first? Well, the music came first. I've always been a gamer, but I thought like I was on vacation recently. I was like, man, I really want to build this YouTube up. Because I'll be honest with you, Josh, I was November, middle of November. I was considering well, not doing it anymore. I was considering kind of just stopping music in a way. I don't know, maybe not completely stopping, but um, and due to whatever reasons at the time, but then I was sitting on vacation. I was like, I really want to build this YouTube thing up. What can I? And then my good friend Stein, who's in here today. What's up, Stein? He sent me a video, which I feel like was perfectly placed. It was meant to be. It was fate in a way, because that kind of inspired me to get back into it, right? And he sent me a video, and it was a video on like why streamers. Why it's difficult for game streamers to make it, and in the video the guy was talking about uh, he was saying that a lot of streamers, they just stream, right? That's all they do. They stream and they hope for the best, and they pray that someone's gonna, be kind enough to come and click on their stream and watch their stream and build a community like that. And it is incredibly hard. It is. Yeah, I can't even imagine how hard it is because I've not done it, but I can only imagine how hard it must be to build from the ground up. And the guy was saying about, there's a lot of streamers that stick to a specific game, and then what happens when that game, shuts, and then and you can't just rely on personality for streaming. You can't just rely on that. This is what this guy was saying, and it resonated with me because I was thinking, there's so many game streamers out there, and then the video was, that Stein sent me. The guy was saying you need to have something that brings people to your YouTube, and then they will watch you. They may or may not watch you, right? And so I was thinking, well, what do I have? The guy was saying, if do you have a special talent that can bring people? Is it playing guitar? Is it singing? Is it cooking? Is it whatever? And so I thought, well, I do like to rap, and actually I like making raps about games, and so. Well, hang on. Why don't I just try do something like this? Why don't I do some raps about some games, and then I can bring get the rap fans to maybe come and watch me play some games. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thinking behind it. But if I do have another agenda, and this is purely for the crypto folks, I have another agenda with my YouTube, and this is why, of course, I want to try to build it. Obviously, for financial gain, that'll be fantastic. But more so because I do believe it's not even a question. Web3 is happening, obviously, and I think there's a lot of companies out there that they're slow. I don't know why they don't want to change with the times, but it's coming. And so I was thinking if I can get a few Web2 game fans, if I rap about a few Web2 games like Call of Duty. I did a Call of Duty track. I did a Minecraft rap the other day. If I can kind of get these guys onto my YouTube, I can slowly introduce them into Cornucopias as it launches, so I can introduce them into Web3. And of course, I'm going to be streaming Cornucopias as much as I can, as I'm sure many people will be. Honorable mentions, people like my man Scruffy. And there's definitely a few others. I think Jupiter wants to do it too, and there's a few folks. So I was thinking, yeah, well, maybe I can do my part, I guess, a little, and kind of transition, be the bridge for people between Web2 gaming who are into the rap and of course of the games. Bring them over to the Web3 cornucopias. So that's why I've been working at trying to make gaming raps, Web2 gaming raps, purely for that reason. Uh, and obviously, to gain the followers and to do all that, because I love it. I love doing it. It's so much fun. I love making the music. I love just kind of letting loose. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this before, but if you're for me, if I'm trying too hard, right? If I say to myself, all right, I'm going upstairs, get into the studio, and I'm gonna do this. Like, my music is terrible. Like, my art is terrible. If I go in with a with a with no expectations, and I say, and I'm in a good mood, and I'm having fun, like, it's the best music I make because it's super creative. I find when I'm in that terrible mood or whatever, I can't be creative at all, and no matter how much I force it, because I got a full-time job. I work from what, 9:30 until about 8 o'clock, every 9:30 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. So it's hard for me to get in the studio. So it's hard for me to say, okay, Tuesday at 3, you're going to go in with all the energy and all the oomph that you need to make this track. And then you wake up on the day and you're just not feeling it. And I know that's a bad excuse. You should be able to get in the studio at any time and do it. But that's me. I guess I'm a bit different. I even record differently. I don't record the same as every other artist out there. A lot of artists, they will go to the studio, the producer, the mixer, whatever. The guy will be standing there, engineer, and he'll say, okay, and go. And most artists, they will rap from beginning to end, or they'll do the first verse entirely. They'll do the first verse like maybe 3 or 4 times. And they'll do the chorus 3 or 4 times, second verse 3 or 4 times, whatever. And then the engineer will slice and dice and pick the best bits, right? But for me, I don't do that. I make the lyrics as I go, right? So I get on the mic, I open up my software, I get on the mic, and I go, okay, these are the things I want to talk about. So let's say cornucopias, and I want to talk about Farmer Joe. I want to talk about Abigail. I want to talk about the Clyde the horse. I want to talk about Josh, whatever. So I say, okay, these are the things I want to talk about. Now let me just see where the beat takes me. So I'll sit there and I'll, this sounds good. Da, 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 da. This sounds good. Okay, let me put that in there. And then as it goes, it kind of, that's why I feel like my music flows a lot. I'm the last person ever to boost myself. I'm not that kind of person. But for me, my music I like that it has good flow to it, because I literally rap the first line and then I go, okay, if the first line's like this, then the second line could be, you know what I mean? So I think other artists might understand where I'm coming from a bit, but I rap a bit differently. I have heard, though, that Dr. Dre himself, he actually prefers his artists to rap like that, because he's very I was watching an interview, and he's very meticulous, if that's the right word, on like how each word and each line sounds, each bar, so that's I completely digressed there and went off on something else. But yeah, that's That's essentially it, my man.
My man, like the words that are coming out of your mouth, I swear. I feel like I deeply appreciate like your artistic integrity. I
Thank
connect
you,
with
man.
exactly what you were saying about like, trying to force something out because that's, just what people want to hear, whatever the reason is, versus
Mm,
like, just that creative flow of like getting things out that you're passionate about. Like that's what drives good art. So I appreciate that integrity on a whole nother level. Like that's really dope. But I feel like
yeah.
so much of what you were describing is like a new brand of art, a new brand of music that doesn't really exist really. Like who in the rap game is rapping about video games? Like, it might sound kind of silly, but like, the reality of modern human experience is that like, a lot of people around the world are gamers, and there's a
Mhm.
real culture there that I think needs to be represented, and it seems like that's a lot of the ways that Cornucopias is helping to drive that forward, is creating the fertile ground for that kind of thing to happen. And I'm seeing it. I'm involved in it. Just last night, I was Scruffy was kind enough to have me as a guest on the stream last night,
Yeah.
and it went 4 hours long. It was a grind going through it, but it was so much fun. And like the original plan, it was just going to be me, Scruffy, and Ninja. But like as we're playing and just like getting to know and connecting with each other, one of the guys from the night, Patarai, he was just dominating all of the games that we had. So we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, we got to
Yeah.
have this guy up here. So Scruffy just like, called an audible and brought him up too, and he was sharing with us that it was the first time he's ever been on a live stream, and just watching him like pure joy, just like having fun playing games with the community on stream. I hope, Patera, if you're watching the recording for this one, it's people like that like can display a real passion for what's been happening in the community, for doing things. I hope that he goes on and creates his own live stream too, to
Yeah.
just like contribute back to the Cornucopias community. I think that's one of the ways that I see it developing. But final question of the space that I want to
Yeah.
ask, like,
Sure,
eh,
buddy.
with ever the collaborative efforts that we see being invested in with Cornucopias and the direction that things are headed, where do you see or hope that the metaverse will transform the industry on a large scale, but also transform the industry and do things, for you individually, like for you to do things? How do you see things change in that way?
Well, in crypto as a whole, I see music changing for the good. For example, there is a project that recently partnered with Cornucopias, Noom. They were interviewed with, I think it was Fareed at CNFTCon, and what they're doing is incredible. They are essentially, divvying up streaming royalties to everybody who owns the NFTs. At to summarize it, and it's really really amazing how Web3 is going to change like ownership. Cut out the middleman, and connect fan and artist. Connect them, and then also allow the artist to earn from, sorry, the fan to earn from their artist. It's incredible the way they're doing things, and the way, I'm not sure what other projects are doing. They're definitely doing a lot of stuff in music, but there's so many. I know there's Sound Rig, there's a few others, but yeah, in terms of the metaverse, I know that there's been a few successful shows that have been done. There's a few artists that have already had concerts in the metaverse. There's one guy with like a marshmallow. I think his name's Marshmallow. Is it Marshmallow for a head? I think
Uh-huh.
he did one, and there's another rapper who did something as well. And the beauty about that is, there's ever since what happened at a recent concert of an artist, there was some some dangerous stuff that happened there. One of the benefits of the metaverse is, you can attend this from anywhere in the world. You can attend a concert, you can attend a show anywhere in the world, and there's no like limitations on numbers, depending on, like with Cornucopia specifically, depending on your dome, of course, because you need to have a big enough dome to accommodate a lot of people. But I think it's the metaverse is going to bring a lot more people to music, and artists to people. It's gonna introduce it's gonna show it's going to allow artists to reach more people, and it's going to allow the fans to connect with the artists in a different way. Like, for myself, for example, I know another artist, Nito, who I like a lot. We're always in the discords chatting to people, so you get that sense of community. And just like I wanted to say, based on what you were saying about the stream that you had with Scruffy the other day, I think it's so fantastic. I in my real life, I have, I say my real life outside of crypto and Discord and that life. I have one friend that I talk to every now and then. But because everybody's got their own lives going on, and you have to keep your circle small, and nobody else wants to be my friend. But no, and so, like, I was thinking to myself, like, because yesterday we were streaming, we were playing Fall Guys. And I was thinking, I'm having such a great time with these people that I have no idea who they are, but I've built this relationship up with them over a month, 6 months, a year, whatever. And we're all chatting, and we're having a great time, and we're laughing, and it's so, like, even if nothing came else from even if nothing else came out from anything I ever did with whoever, I'm glad that I was able to be a part of this community, and to build relationships with people. Like, I talk to some people now every day, and it's crazy. It's so much fun. It's so yeah, I just really grateful for it, I guess. And yeah. Sorry, man. I tend to have a very, very bad memory. Yeah, as soon as I go off on something, I completely forgot what happened a minute ago. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. But yeah, that's what I think. Yo, that's right. That's what I think the metaverse is going to do for people, and for art. It's gonna. I have a friend of mine that I really want to get into NFT. She does beautiful art of she takes photos of flowers, but she does it in such a unique way. No one else does it, and I think she'd do great with NFTs, for example, and that could generate so much more income compared to maybe just trying to sell it on Instagram, or hoping that she's had oh, what's the man, I've lost my mind today. I can't remember words. Where people go, they sell art. They sell art at an art place. You
Like
think
an
I'd be better
exhibit.
with words? Yeah, you think I'd be better with words as a rapper, but at a gallery, yeah, at a gallery, right? So, but the gallery has fees. The gallery wants to charge her an arm and a leg just to be able to keep the art up there. But now she can cut that all out, and she can sell to the whole world, using NFTs and crypto. And yeah, I think it's I just cannot wait for the year of the corn. For everything to happen in the year of the corn, and yeah, man, it's exciting times.
Beautifully put. I'm so glad that you brought up Project Noom. I can't believe I didn't bring them up because they're one of my favorite projects. I'm a huge fan of Project Noom, and I love the partnership between them and Cornucopias. Uh, Bro, having you on this space has been incredible. I'm hyped up right now. I want to go and just start like writing stuff and creating content and just doing more. I think I might just end up doing a video about art and cornucopias, and just like that's how much that this space has impacted me personally.
Fantastic.
Your your passion, like, you just like it flows out of you. And I hope that with your art you keep doing what you do. Let us know at the nights, let me know personally what we can do to help support you through that, because
Thank you,
it
brother.
is it's phenomenal. I appreciate what you do for the community. I love what you're doing. It's innovative, it's original, it's creative. Bro, I want to be your friend. We need to hang out more.
Hell yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah,
I'll add you on
absolutely.
Discord.
Dude, let's do it. Yeah, I've connected so much with what you're saying. I hope that anybody listening has had the same experience. So I look forward to any times in the future that like we get to connect. I'm definitely going to be more proactive about that. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that 7 Orange origin story, because
Yeah,
that's real interesting to me. I want to
100%.
express my appreciation to you for taking the time to come and talk to us, and do what we do as the corn family. Um, it is the year of the corn. I'm telling you, like,
Yeah,
there's so many big things happening here,
man.
and community, art, passion is just one of those many things. And I'm glad that that's something that we brought to this space in this episode. Moody, you have anything to close us out?
No, just I found this fascinating. Really welcome anytime, Seven. Great fun. You're
Thank
doing
you.
so much for the community, mate. And I just want you to write a rap song about the Knights.
Okay. Okay. All righty. I'll get to thinking.
Yeah,
Love it.
this has been great. Yeah, thanks again for showing up and bringing
Thank you,
this to the
brother. Of course.
space.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that about does it for this
Cool.
episode. I appreciate it. I can't express it enough. I swear that damn heart and 100% button. I don't think I've ever pressed it more times than in this space. That this has been great.
Awesome.
So
Love it.
yeah,
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me 100%.
yeah.
And if I am gonna be starting up some kind of podcasting again with a friend of mine. So you guys are more than welcome to come on our show as well, because yeah, it just like you guys did today. I want to hear more from all the Cornucopians and influencers and everyone. Yeah, man. So no, thank you very much for today. I appreciate it, man.
Dope. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. For anybody listening that for some reason doesn't know who you are, where can they find you? The podcast or YouTube or Twitter? Like
Yeah.
where are you
So
posting updates?
they can well, Twitter is the main one, all things crypto music, and of course YouTube. So I mean, my Discord is always open. I always want people to come. My messages are open as long as you're in the Cornucopias Discord. And so yeah, I'm there. I'm Discord. I'm YouTube. I'm Twitter. Come and say what's up to me anytime. I always have time to speak to people because I work at the computer anyway. So yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very cool. I think
Yeah,
that'll do it for today. I'm
right on.
loving this interaction between the Knights and the Mafia collaborative effort. I think that it's been very fruitful. So yeah, that'll
All
do
right,
it.
cool.
I will finally close us out on the space, and you all have a wonderful rest of the day.
All right, be good, folks. Thank you very much. See you later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.